Here we have the 2-hour price chart for Super Microcomputer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. As we can see here, we're starting to form a bit of a base here, a bit of a sideways consolidation pattern at somewhat higher levels. Most of last week, we did see a fair amount of selling pressure that was directed in the market as a whole. The technology space was probably the worst victim of this bearish trend. Many major stocks did see declines during this period. And Super Microcomputer, in my opinion, has fared a bit better than many of these stocks. There are some names in particular that I can point to that have shown some fairly significant losses and really have not recovered those losses. One name that I would point to in particular would be Meta Platforms, the Facebook parent company. But there are a few other examples of that. I just finished a video on Broadcom, and we've seen some similar. Broadcom and I would say Nvidia are trading in somewhat similar territory, but the real issue here I think is that we're starting to see some divergence in some of the tech stocks. In my opinion, they're not really following maybe the same trajectory necessarily. I mean, some of them can possibly be grouped together, but within these declines, some stocks have definitely fared better than others. In my view, I would say that Supermicro has shown one of the better performances here overall. I would say that the declines were somewhat minimal. We did manage to hold this. For the most part, we managed to hold this uptrend line that's been in place for quite a while in the stock. This has roughly been in place since the end of April, the second half of April. And so for the most part, we were able to maintain this uptrend, even though there was a large amount of selling pressure in the market. And then we have managed to kind of trade a bit higher here and form a sideways trading range. Given the fact that we are trading above the exponential moving averages here, this would be the 2-hour price chart. So, as we can see, we are trading above the exponential moving average cluster. For the most part, anyway, we're seeing a bit of a dip here below the 20 period EMA, but we're not really seeing closes below there. So overall, I would consider this to be some trading activity that is maintaining itself in a bullish fashion relative to its moving averages. And overall, I would say that this is a bullish outcome here, given the massive sell-offs that we're really seeing throughout the tech space as a whole. Very large names here. I mean, we're talking about Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft kind of closed flat on the day. So we are really kind of starting to see a bit of a divergence here within the tech space as a whole. And I'm curious which tech stocks people are most interested at this point, because I do think that there's going to be some questions about who will be the real winners and losers at this point. I don't think it's so clear cut. Some of the market favorites might not be faring as well as some other names. So currently, in my view, Super Microcomputer is really faring, is really showing one of the best performances here in light of these recent sell-offs. I do think there's some encouraging factors here. Given that we have managed to maintain this uptrend line, and a lot of the trading volumes here really are showing bullish activity rather than declines. I mean, you would think, and given the sell-offs that have taken place here, you would expect to see more red candles in here in the trading volume bars. But this really has not been true. I mean, you've really got some fairly strong instances of buying activity, which really, in my view, means that people are looking to buy SMCI as it's approaching its lows. So the real question here is, we are kind of trading at a bit of a sideways trading range. We do have a ways to go here before we're able to reach back toward these highs above $1,000 per share. The level that I'm really watching here comes in at the June 20th high, which posted just below $1,015. And this really would be the level to the top side. And a test here will be interesting, and it will be quite telling, I think, because the last time that we approached this level, in my view, this really turned into a false breakout. We had a bit of a like an uptrend channel formation here, and we did break outside of that uptrend channel formation, but then we quickly reversed lower. It was actually a substantial move lower. I mean, we really hit lows of 773.48 during the July 1st trading session. So, that's a fairly massive turnaround here in a very short period of time. So I will be interested in seeing what exactly happens with this stock as we trade back toward this $1,015. If we do see a bit of a spike above 1,000, that's the real question here. I mean, do you think that that this stock will be able to maintain itself above 1,000, or do you think it's possible that we could see sort of a false breakout here, some profit taking, maybe even some short selling at these upper levels? If we do cross over 1,000. I mean, do you expect to see the stock hold these levels, or do you think that we'll see another sharp break lower, like we saw after the stock tested these levels on June 20th? Overall, I am looking at the indicator readings here, and I do see mostly bullish evidence here, bullish momentum activity. If we go back to the trading sessions from roughly the middle of April, roughly April 19th, we can see that overall, the uptrend here has been able to maintain itself fairly well. However, we have seen some evidence of declining activity as well. So we've got a bit of a bit of a wedge formation here, or a symmetrical triangle, perhaps, because after the share price reached overbought territory on May 15th, we did see a decline here in share price momentum. And interestingly, this kind of culminated. The prior high here was posted at this spike high above $1,000 per share. So, there's a lot pointing to this area here. This, in my opinion, is arguably the most important and interesting part of this chart. Because we did see a bit of a false breakout here, and this is ultimately what kind of led to this shorter term downtrend in momentum readings on the relative strength index. So, in my view, this is really a critical level. If we are able to break above this 1,000 mark and remain there, I think we could be in store for some some sustained rallies going forward. In my view, I think we would probably hold above this level. I am interested in hearing what people think, though, because anybody that's familiar with this stock knows that it's got a very kind of volatile whipsaw type of trading history. We do see lots of rallies followed by some sharp declines that happen relatively quickly. Overall, I've been a bull on this stock since roughly $35 per share. I've been following it for quite a while. But there are many instances here where you do see sharp declines. I mean, this would be a really good example back here. February 2024, we saw some very massive declines after seeing a really nice rally. This has happened on many different occasions. You do see some fairly sharp downside price action after the stock is able to post some rallies. So I would like to know what people think about this stock. If we do see a break above 1,000, do you think we'll be able to maintain that level, or do you think we're more likely to see a false breakout? I'd like to know what everybody thinks about that. So here's the current market analysis for Super Micro Computer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI.